I remember that evening by the lake, as if it were yesterday. The world was quiet. So quiet, it almost felt unreal. The sky was bleeding into shades of gold and crimson, and the water mirrored every color, every shadow, like a painting I couldn't touch. I sat there alone, tossing stones into the surface, one by one. Each splash was small, but the ripples carried far, as though the lake was breathing with me. At the time, I wasn't searching for anything. Not answers, not peace, not even love. All I wanted was distraction, something to fill the silence in my chest. And for a while, it was just me, the stones, the water, and the emptiness I thought would always stay. But then, she appeared. At first, I didn't even notice. There was no thunder, no sudden rush of music, just footsteps, soft, almost hesitant. And when I looked up, I saw her. The last light of the sun caught in her hair, and for a moment she looked unreal, like she had stepped out of the horizon itself, painted by the very sunset I was watching. Her eyes reflected the lake, still, infinite, mysterious. And in that instant, something inside me cracked. I don't know if it broke, or if it woke up. My heart slammed against my ribs so violently I thought I'd lost my mind. I had spent hours in silence, but suddenly, silence wasn't enough anymore. Suddenly, everything inside me was alive. She smiled, just a simple smile, and yet it felt like the whole world tilted, like gravity itself had shifted toward her. She looked out across the water and whispered, "It's beautiful here, isn't it?" Her voice wasn't just sound, it was a spell, software gentle, but it sank into me like an anchor, dragging me deeper than I'd ever dared to go. I wanted to answer, I wanted to say something profound, but the words caught in my throat. All I managed was a quiet, broken, "yes." So instead, I picked up another stone and threw it into the lake. The ripples spread across the water, circles upon circles, growing wider, reaching further. And in my mind, it felt as though those ripples weren't just on the surface. They were binding us, threading some invisible line between her and me. She walked closer, then sat down beside me, close enough that I could hear her breath, close enough that I could feel my entire body trembling with the realization of her nearness. And in that moment, something shifted forever. It wasn't silence anymore. It wasn't peace. It was fire. It was chaos. It was madness. Not the kind of love you read about in stories, gentle, patient, slow. This was wild, consuming, dangerous. The kind of love that terrifies you because it doesn't ask for permission. It simply arrives and takes everything. Every movement she made, every tilt of her head, every flicker in her eyes, it all branded itself into me. I couldn't look away. I couldn't think. I couldn't breathe without her presence filling the air around me. I realized then I didn't belong to myself anymore. From that very moment, I belonged to her, completely, irrevocably. The night deepened as we sat by the water. The stars began to stir above us, faint at first, then brighter, as if they too had come to witness this madness. I remember glancing at her in the starlight, how the darkness made her glow even more. She wasn't just a person. She was a storm disguised as serenity. And I was the fool who had just stepped into the heart of it. Time didn't move the same way anymore. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like seconds. All that mattered was that she was there. I told myself it was chance, that she had only stumbled upon the lake the way I had. But deep inside, I knew better. It didn't feel like coincidence. It felt like destiny. Like the universe had twisted itself to put her in front of me. And from that night forward, I was no longer free. Not free from her smile. Not free from her voice. Not free from the way her presence tore apart the walls I had spent years building. It was a beautiful kind of insanity. The kind you don't want to escape from. The kind that makes you feel more alive in one moment than you have in your entire life. She spoke about little things, memories, dreams, fragments of herself. And I listened like a man starved. Every word was sacred. Every sentence carved itself into me. I couldn't tell her then, but I knew. Nothing else in this world could ever compare. That night, by the lake, I fell. Not gently, not slowly, but all at once, like a stone crashing through the surface of the water. No ripples, no hesitation, just a plunge straight into madness. And even now, when I think of her, I don't remember it as something ordinary. I remember it as the night my life split in two. Before her and after. Before her, there was silence. After her, there was fire. She didn't just walk into my world, she set it ablaze. And as the stars watched from above, and the lake carried our reflections into eternity, I understood a truth I could never unlearn. My calm life was over. My quiet nights had ended. Because she had come. And with her came my most beautiful insanity.